Huh?
Who do they think they are? I've given the best years of my life to this place, and they think they can just fire me like that? Like trash? I don't think so.
SpongeBob? Is that you?
I've been waiting for you, Patrick!
All right, guys. I'm losing my mind. Don't judge me. I don't want to drop my microphone. This is how you safely handle your microphones, okay? 1 wrap, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is really expensive tape. I hope Pastor Mark doesn't watch this. Can't get the tape off. Guys, I'm stuck. Help. Someone help me. Okay. Listen to me. Are you listening to my eyes? Every single week, there's only one announcement. Summer camp. Are you signed up yet? That's like the only thing you have to do. Go sign up for summer camp. What are you waiting for? Just do it. No. There's no Shia LaBeouf that's going to show up here or over here or green screen behind me. That's a dead meme, and you can go to jail for that. And I'll be the one to report you. You think breaking quarantine is bad? You start dropping dead memes into your videos, you can get shot for that. Disappointing me. Just do it. Just sign up for summer camp. Okay? Just studentmin.com. Go to the website, hit register, and register for summer camp. It's still coming. It's still going to happen. I don't understand why you wait so long. Just do it now and we can get good cabins. Just do it now and then we won't have to sit in concrete boxes and have Alex gas us out every year. At least the other ones you can escape into a foyer and not be outside. What happens if it's raining and someone is in the cabin with Alex? People could die. Sign up for summer camp or we'll die. Okay? Just do it. Sign up for summer camp. That was hard. There's a chair there. Give me my cable back, chair. Worship now.
Like a hurricane, I am a tree bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy. When all of a sudden I am unaware of these afflictions eclipsed by glory, and I realize just how beautiful you are and how great your affections are for me. Oh, how he loves us so. Oh, how he like a hurricane. I am a tree bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy. When all of a sudden I am unaware of these afflictions eclipsed by glory, and I realize just how beautiful you are and how great your affections are for me. And oh, how he loves us so. Oh, how he loves us, how he loves us so. Oh, how he loves us so. Oh, how he loves us, how he loves us so. So we are his portion and he is our price, drawn to redemption by the grace in his eyes. If grace is an ocean, we're all sinking. So heaven meets earth like a sloppy wet kiss, and my heart turns violently inside of my chest. I don't have time to maintain these regrets when I think about the way that he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves. Yeah, he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves. Yes, he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves. When it feels like the dark lingers longer than the night, when the shadows feel like giants, are you chasing me down? Tell me, where could I run from your light? Where could I hide? Hemmed within your precious thoughts, there's no hiding from your love. Highs and lows, Lord, you're with me either way it goes. Should I rise or should I fall? Even so, Lord, your mercy is an even flow. You're too good to let me go. Should I dance on the heights or make my bed among the depths? Your mercy waits at every end, like you planned it from the start. Should the dawn come with wings, or find me far side of the sea, there your hand still fastens me, ever closer to your heart. Oh, highs and lows, Lord, you're with me either way it goes. Should I rise or should I fall? Even so, Lord, your mercy is an even flow. Should I rise or should I fall? You are faithful through it all, and you're too good to let me go. Oh, you are so good. Highs and lows, you surround me either way it goes. Should I rise or should I fall? Lord, you're faithful through it all. Oh, highs and lows, in the rhythm of your grace I know. Should I rise or should I fall? Lord, you're faithful through it all, and you're too good to let me go.
Guys, the world's kind of crazy right now. And to be honest, I'd really rather not be living through a historical event like this. Like, I don't know about all of you, but I am starting to lose my marbles. On a real note, though, I think that this is definitely proving to be way more difficult for people than I think we first expected, including myself. I've just been, like, really sad. Just, like, not getting to see all of you every week and not getting to see, like, my friends and family very often, and just all this extra free time to think about, like, past disappointment and heartache that I thought that I made it over, and down to even dumb stuff like the gym closing and not being able to go and work out has just been really hard. And I know for some of you, like, there's even more difficult stuff, whether it's maybe not getting to attend your last prom, or maybe there not being a graduation ceremony this year. And there's just, like, a lot of negative things to dwell on. And with all of this extra free time, it's really easy to just sit and think about those things. At times like this, I think it's really easy to start to question, is God good? But we don't have to worry, because we aren't the first ones to ask that question.
There are 3 books in the Bible known as the wisdom literature: Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Job. The first, Proverbs, showed us that God is wise and just.
Yeah, we learned that God has ordered the world so that it's fair. The righteous are rewarded, the wicked are punished. In other words, you get what you deserve.
But then we meet Ecclesiastes, who observes, people don't always get what they deserve.
Yeah, he said the world isn't always fair, that life is unpredictable and hard to comprehend, just like smoke.
And this makes you wonder, okay, well, is God wise and just?
Exactly. And so it's that question that is being explored in the final book of wisdom, Job.
All right, let's dive in.
So Job begins with a strange story that takes place up in the heavens, which are described something like a heavenly command center. So God is there with these angelic creatures called the sons of God, and they're all there reporting for duty.
And God points out this guy Job, his servant, showing how righteous and good he is.
And then one of these angelic creatures approaches. He's referred to in Hebrew as the Satan.
The Satan. Who is this?
Well, this word is actually a title, which literally means the one who is opposed. So out of this whole crew, he is the one questioning how God is running the world. And he proposes that Job might not actually love God, that he's only a good person because God rewards him. If God were to take away all of the good things he gave to Job, then we would see his true colors.
So he thinks Job is just working the system?
That's exactly right. Maybe he's obeying just to get what he wants.
So God agrees to this experiment and allows the Satan to inflict suffering on Job.
And Job loses everyone and everything that he cares about. It is devastating. And remember, he deserves none of this. God himself said so.
The remarkable thing is that in the midst of all this suffering, Job still praises God.
At least for chapters 1 and 2. But then in chapter 3, we find out how he's really feeling inside. He unleashes this poem that reveals this devastation. It's a long, elaborate curse on the day that he was born.
After this, some of Job's friends come to visit him to offer their help. And all of them are like, Job, you must have done something horribly wrong to deserve this. After all, we know God is just, and we know the world is ordered by God's justice and fairness, so you must be getting what you deserve.
And for the next 34 chapters, the friends and Job go back and forth in very dense Hebrew poetry. His friends keep speculating about why God might have sent such suffering, and they even start making up lists of hypothetical sins that Job must have committed. But after each accusation, Job defends his innocence.
And Job is innocent.
He is. He's also on an emotional roller coaster. At some moments, he's very confident that God is still wise and just.
Yeah, in other moments, he's doubting God's goodness.
He even comes to accuse God of being reckless, unfair, and corrupt. So by the end of the dialogue, Job demands that God come and explain himself in person, and God does so. He comes in the form of a great storm cloud.
Now, God doesn't give Job a direct answer. He doesn't tell Job about the conversation with the Satan.
Yeah, he does something very different. He takes Job on a virtual tour of the universe. He shows Job how grand the world is, and he asks him if he's even capable of running it or understanding it, just for a day. He shows Job how much detail there is in the world, things that we might see every day, but really don't understand at all. But God does. He knows it all intimately. He pays attention to the beauty and operations of the universe in ways that we haven't even imagined and in places that we will never see.
Then to conclude, God shows Job two wondrous beasts and brags about how great they are.
Yeah, they are dangerous. I mean, they would kill you without even thinking about it. And God says they're not evil. They're actually a part of his good world.
And then that's it. That's God's whole defense. It's kind of weird. I mean, what was this all about?
It seems to be this. From Job's point of view, it looks like God is not just. But God's perspective is infinitely bigger. He's dynamically interacting with a whole universe of complexity when he makes decisions. And this is what God calls his wisdom.
So Job asking God to defend himself is actually kind of absurd.
He couldn't comprehend this kind of complexity even if he wanted to.
So where does this leave us?
Well, it leaves Job in a place of humility. He never learned why he suffered, and yet he's able to live in peace and in the fear of the Lord.
But that's not where the book ends, because after this, God restores to Job double everything he had lost. And this, again, is surprising. I mean, is this a reward? Is God saying, congratulations, Job, you passed this elaborate test?
No, I mean, the whole book just made the point that Job losing everything was not a punishment, and so now getting it back isn't a reward.
So why does he get it back?
Well, apparently, God, in his wisdom, decided to give Job a gift. We don't know why. But what we do know is that Job is now the kind of person who, no matter what comes, good or bad, he can trust God's wisdom.
And that's the book of Job and the end of our wisdom series.
These biblical books of wisdom are amazing. Each one offers a unique perspective on the good life, and you need to hear all of them together as you learn to live with wisdom and in the fear of the Lord.
I know that was a lot to take in. The story of Job is pretty intense. I think it raises a lot of questions, and I would love to go through and do a whole series on Job sometime. But for now, I just want to take out of that story this idea of how we respond to when we're going through a hard time, a difficult situation that we don't understand. I think that I'm a lot like Job, more than I'd like to admit. Even though I've never been through anything near as difficult as he went through. I mean, he lost everything and just truly despaired of his own life. And yet, even though I haven't been through anything near that tragic, I feel I'm already the same. Just really wishy-washy, back and forth, trusting in God's goodness in one moment, and then wondering if my idea of what my life should be would make me happier than God's. I think we can all find ourselves in this position of just wondering if I was able to pick all my own choices and have whatever I wanted, would it make me happy? And would it make me happier than staying inside of God's will for my life? And it's a really honest and human question to ask. But I think, as we all know, that if we're ever to try to make a decision like that, we should ask ourselves, how would the only perfect person to ever walk this earth respond to this situation? I think that we all know who I'm talking about. His name is Jesus. And we just got done celebrating his sacrifice, which is the reason that we celebrate Easter. Whenever we need to learn how to respond to a situation, we should always look to Jesus and his response to the torture that he was about to endure was truly beautiful. At the Last Supper, which I'm sure most of you have heard of already, Jesus and his disciples were about to leave to go to the Mount of Olives into the Garden of Gethsemane. Before they left, however, they worshiped and they sang a hymn together. That hymn is widely acknowledged to be Psalms 118. So to set the scene, Jesus, knowing full well that he was about to leave to go to the Mount of Olives, where he would be betrayed by Judas, and then subsequently arrested, sentenced, tortured, and crucified, all while being fully innocent and undeserving of any of it, decided that he would worship. And the final words off his lips before leaving to endure his final days were a psalm that ended with, "You are my God, and I will give thanks to you. You are my God, and I will extol you. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever." And then even later, that same day, moments before Jesus would be even interrupted in this conversation to be betrayed by Judas and delivered over to the Roman officials, in prayer, Jesus tells God, "Yet not my will, but what you will." So Jesus, knowing full well what was going to occur, he worshiped and was at peace with what was about to happen to him. And I think that is really, really amazing. I mean, obviously it's an understatement to say that Jesus was amazing, but we look to him for our answers, and he just knew that God's will for his life was absolutely perfect. So what does this all mean? Job was a man who went through suffering, and then God showed him that everything that happens in the world is a part of a bigger plan created by a God that is so infinitely grander than we can imagine or understand. And that everything that we go through is a part of something else. And Jesus, the Son of God, also went through horrific, terrible times. And yet he knew that this was all part of God's plan to bring us back into relationship with God. So I guess, is it going to take something like that for us to realize that when we're going through times like this and the world is going through difficulties like this, to understand that God is still in control and he is still working all of this for his good? So with all this being said, I guess the question remains, are we going to fall into the trap of understanding the goodness of God based on the good things that he gives to us in our life? You know, is God only good because he does good things? Or is he good because he is what goodness is, the very essence of goodness, and nothing that God does can be anything other than good? I think that if we pin our opinion of God and his goodness to the temporary state that we are in life, it's very foolish. And that we will just be back and forth all the time, wondering, is God good or is he not good? Depending on our temporary situation in this 80 years that we have on this earth, not even thinking about the eternity that's ahead of us, and how a hard time that we go through might help us share the gospel with someone who's never heard his name before. And that year, that 2 years, that 3 years, that 60 years of struggle that we go through, all being paid off at the end so that we can reach one person, is infinitely worth it. Because we have gone through a temporary amount of heartache and a temporary amount of struggle in order to reach somebody so that they can live a life forever in heaven with God, in relationship with him. So I don't know about you, but I would trade 80 years of suffering so that one person can spend eternity with him. And that's big talk. And I bet you any money that the first real difficult thing I go through, and not like some dumb breakup or, as sad as it is, our dog passing away, I bet my tune will change. And that's why we need God. That's why we need to lean on him, because we are not strong. In that same situation that we were talking about before with Jesus in the garden, Peter is talking to Jesus and he says, Lord, I will never deny you. He says, I will never deny you. I will die for you if I must. And Jesus' response is, Peter, not only will you deny me once, but you're going to deny me 3 times today. And Peter is shocked by this. And then what does he do? He turns around and he denies that he knows Jesus 3 times before the next morning. And Jesus says, when he's saying that to him, he says, Peter, your spirit is strong. Your spirit is willing, but your humanity is weak. Guys, our spirit can be strong, but our humanity doesn't stand a chance to the world around us. So I guess if I had to close this out with anything, I would just remind you all that God isn't good because he does good things. God is good because he is what goodness is. So to answer the question, is God good? He is.
God is my shepherd, I won't be wanting, I won't be wanting. He makes me rest, fields of green, and quiet streams. Even though I walk through the valley of death and dying, I will not fear, for you are with me. You're always with me. Shepherd's staff comforts me. You are my feast in the presence of enemies. Surely goodness follow me, follow me in the house of God forever. God is my shepherd, I won't be wanting, I won't be wanting. He makes me rest in fields of green, by quiet streams. Even though I'm walking through the valley of death and dying, I will not fear, for you are with me. You're always with me. Your shepherd's staff comforts me. You are my feast in the presence of enemies. Surely goodness follow me, follow me in the house of God forever. 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 In the house of God forever.